In this episode of the Blood Clot Briefing, Glenda shares her deeply personal story of losing both her mum and sister to sudden blood clots. It's a powerful reminder of how important family history can be, and how hidden risks can change lives. Glenda also opens up about her own high-risk status, lifestyle changes, and the impact on her health journey. Let's dive in.
Hey, welcome back to ThromboWatch, everybody. I am really delighted that we have a special guest with us here today, Glenda Devlin. Glenda has kindly agreed to share her blood clot story with us. I'm fortunate to have known Glenda for a number of years, although we'd never discussed blood clots together until very recently. I met Glenda 6 years ago when she and I were both on an aging accelerator, bringing our innovations to life. Glenda, do you want to tell us a little bit about your innovation before we dive into the blood clot story?
Yes. Hi, I'm Glenda Devlin, and for the last few years I've been developing a digital solution for families and loved ones who are living with dementia. And this is a private, safe and secure place for families to come together to share memories and reminisce. And I met Louise on an accelerator program.
And so and I'm so proud of everything that you've achieved since we were on that program. But we were at an event recently and I told you that we were doing ThromboWatch and you said, oh, I've got blood clot story.
Yeah.
Blood clots affected my family. Could you just tell us in your own words how that story happened to you?
Yes. Start with my mum. And I got a telephone call, totally unexpected. Mum had died.
Oh, sorry to hear it.
Obviously when we got the report through, it was a pulmonary embolism, get them right. And I didn't know what that was. I asked people and they just said, oh yeah, it was a blood clot. It was a blood clot in the lung and she died. Wouldn't have suffered, would just have died. And even though it was a shock, I think I was only 35 years old, and thought no more about it, just accepted that was what happened. Didn't look into it, didn't research into it. A few years later, my sister turned 60 and literally exactly the same thing happened to my sister. Now, I had been spending quite a lot of time with her the week before she died, interestingly, and we were actually visiting a family member in hospital. And what was happening was we had to climb some steps to get to the ward. And when my sister got to the top, every time she got to the top, she stopped and she said she was looking at the carp in a pond over this balcony. And I never thought anything of it. She died, again, completely out of the blue for me, did not know anything about it, absolute shock. Then talking to the family, we discovered that she had been sleeping downstairs, so she hadn't been climbing the stairs. Then it was the same diagnosis as my mum.
Sorry, it was making her breathless to climb the stairs.
Yes, it was making her breathless.
Overly breathless, so she
didn't tell anybody.
Partly because you were caring for somebody else that she was more concerned about.
Absolutely.
And we have heard that story before on ThromboWatch, that people have been more focused on someone else than their own situation. And so she was minimising it, hiding it, not wanting anybody to worry. But it was so bad that she couldn't climb her own stairs to bed.
Absolutely. So much so that she actually fell out with her own son because of it, because her son had come to visit and she was sleeping downstairs and he couldn't understand why.
And she
didn't explain.
Oh, and you got a call again to say that she'd passed away?
Yeah.
Out for you, totally.
Completely out of the blue. And I was advised by other people to get myself away to the doctors because mum, sister, and I'm the third female in the family. And I went along to the doctors and the doctor said, yeah, you'll be at really high risk. Consider yourself at high risk. But the doctor took some blood and just said, we can't find anything, but just make sure that you accept that you're at high risk. And that was it.
So in terms of being high risk, what sort of things do you do with that knowledge?
Exercise. So there's key things. Number one is I was told, and I did this, wearing flight socks, irrespective of how long you travel. Making sure that you're moving and you're exercising pretty much every night I can. I'm out walking, and if at the weekends, I get out walking at the weekends. So I'm always trying to move and keep moving. I have a very healthy diet and lifestyle, and I'm deliberate on that. I'm again, I haven't got enough evidence to prove any of this, but I just think a Mediterranean lifestyle, low carbs, high protein, and very balanced, and I drink lots of water.
Really important.
Lots
We say
and
that
lots
in
of
every
water.
episode. Lots
Yeah.
and lots of water.
Absolutely.
You sound like you're doing all of the right things. What about drug therapies?
All I was told, listen, now here's an interesting point. I was told that should I have an illness where I'm in bed for 2 weeks, I should seek medical advice and get warfarin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And the other thing, in my experience, was that I couldn't have HRT.
I couldn't either, and I haven't.
Yeah. So we've had to go through that
Yes.
without that help.
anything. Yeah.
And the thing is, we know, and so we've taken that action. But there are so many people who won't know that they have that risk. So I guess what I'd say is make sure if you're taking any medications, have a discussion around whether there could be any impact if you happen to have a blood condition that means that you're more prone to clotting, whether you've been tested or not. It's always good to understand the risks, and it's particularly good if you've got a family history. If you can find out, if you can ask the question of your elderly living relatives, has anybody had a blood clot? It's really valuable to know that, because it can make a difference to the way you live your life.
Completely. There's the discussion about, for females as well, and I've had this discussion with my family, there's a discussion about periods, and I think we need to be open about that and be able to discuss it openly.
Absolutely. It's not easy though.
No,
I was trying to prompt you to go to HRT there.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew that from previous conversation that we'd had, but it's very difficult for people to talk about. I've talked in other episodes about when you get into your late teenage years, if you're a girl and you're going to go on the pill, if you have a blood clotting disorder, going on the pill can be very dangerous, and nobody talks about it. So who would know?
And nobody knows. And interestingly, when I was young, the pill didn't suit me at all, so I couldn't take it. And interestingly as well, myself, my 2 nieces, and I believe my sister, we all had extremely difficult periods.
And I did too. And again, you think there are connections, but actually factor V Leiden, which is the genetic condition that I have, was only discovered in the 90s. We still have so much to learn about these conditions and their impacts into all elements of female reproductive life, really, in terms of pregnancy as well. I know that there can be challenges. So thank you for coming on, because what you're doing is raising awareness, and that's what people need, because it might save a life.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And I think there's something else.
Go.
I wonder, and this is just me thinking off the top of my head here, but I know that our family all have had endometriosis, and I'm just wondering if there's any links between clots and endometriosis and all of that.
And I've talked in the past about the fact that I couldn't maintain my pregnancies. And in my own head, I'm very concerned that the umbilical cord that had clots in it, I worry that the umbilical cord had clots in it that starved the baby of nutrients that it needed multiple times. So I had multiple miscarriages, ectopic pregnancy, lost tube. And interestingly, after I'd lost the tube, the pain that I suffered every month got so much better with that. And so I wonder, was that tube damaged in the first place? There is so much more work that we need to do to understand all of the impacts and to keep people well, healthy, and to live the life that they would want. And that's what this podcast is all about. So we are incredibly grateful. Really appreciate your time. Thanks, Glenda.
Thank you.
Take care.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice. The views expressed are the personal opinions of the ThromboWatch team. If you think you may have developed a blood clot, please speak to your healthcare provider urgently. Health-related information shared in this podcast, including text, graphics, images, and other material, is intended for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your doctor or another qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you believe you're experiencing a medical emergency, call 999 in the UK. For less urgent support, call 111. Thank you.